National energy systems are designed in a one-directional way with centralized production flowing through a capillary distribution network to individual users, commercial buildings and industry. However, the integration of renewable energy is putting pressure on the grid. It is not equipped to deal with bidirectional flows of energy. More and more people are becoming prosumers, feeding electricity back to the grid. This causes trouble, as it is difficult to keep frequencies and voltages stable when infrequent modes of production such as solar and wind are introduced to the network. However, rather than posing a threat, renewable energy integration holds great opportunities. But then we first need to get rid of the centralized grid. Well, not exactly, but let's consider the case of decentralized energy systems. On the local level, several distributed energy resources such as solar panels, windmills and storage units work together to distribute energy from producers to consumers. But consumers can also become producers, such as people with solar panels. Especially on industrial parks, this poses opportunities. Through optimization and trading software that takes into account energy prices, production capacity, supply, demand, and many other factors, peer-to-peer energy flows can become more environmentally friendly and more profitable for all parties involved. So decentralized energy grids and local trading pose great opportunities. However, 60% of our energy demand is used for heating. At the same time, many industrial processes produce excess heat that often dissipates without being used. What if we could capture and repurpose this heat? Heat networks actually have a long history, going back to the early 1900s. Modern-day versions can take different shapes and forms, but the basic version consists of an insulated piping network, storage options and most importantly, heat from different sources. Sustainable sources include residual heat from industry and, for example, data centers, geothermal energy, solar energy, and if necessary, natural gas. Both heat networks and local smart electricity grids support industrial symbiosis initiatives, an important pillar of a circular economy. To assess the enablers and barriers of these decentralized energy systems, let's look at some practical examples. At Kalundborg, Denmark, processing heat, wastewater and other streams have been shared for multiple decades already. These symbioses came about through self-organized initiatives by private companies. Practitioners warn that similar initiatives instigated by public regulatory bodies have lower success rates when private stakeholders are forced into the system or expectations are too high or quick progress is trying to be made. Evidently, an example like Urban Chain, a British peer-to-peer energy trading software company, shows how successful an initiative can be when voluntary participation is granted and economic and environmental gains are high. One Urban Chain case at a business park in the Manchester region showed price decreases for energy of around 30% and almost a doubling in the earnings from solar panels. However, economic incentives can also prohibit positive action. Warmco distributes residual heat and CO2 from a fertilizer producer to local greenhouses. However, due to the recent skyrocketing of gas prices, the fertilizer producer had to stop production. Therefore, it couldn't continue the supply of heat and CO2 to the greenhouses. The greenhouse farmers filed a lawsuit, but to no avail. So considering everything we've discussed so far, which enablers and barriers can we identify? Well, firstly, economic incentives are important. Regulation can help and governmental initiatives to support transition to local grids at industrial parks shouldn't be underestimated. However, involving the companies on the park and listening to their needs from the beginning is very important for success. Storage often remains a technological challenge. Because of that, and also to increase grid resilience, it is often still necessary for industrial smart grids to remain connected to the main grid. As we have seen, enablers and drivers of the transition to decentralized energy production and consumption are innovations in measurement, control and trading software, increasing integration of renewable energy sources, and the increase in environmental awareness among industrial actors. What we can take away from all of this is that decentralized energy systems support renewable energy integration and industrial symbiosis practices, providing grid resiliency, economic gains, and significant CO2 reductions.